Is everything fine?
Which translation?
We have also translation into Russian and into English. You can choose here the option. In the bar, you can see the symbol of the globus. Does it work?
Interpretation, okay.
Yeah, but it will work only for the meeting that we have right now about science, and then our intellectual game is going to be in English. So now I'm happy to start, and I would like to give the floor to the director of the Russian Center for Science and Culture in Brussels, Madame Vera Bunina. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Lukiana. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the virtual platform of the Russian Center for Science and Culture in Brussels, Europe. I'll switch in Russian because I would like to be very short, and I'm rather fluent in Russian than in English.
I guess so.
Дорогие друзья, добро пожаловать на виртуальную платформу Российского центра науки и культуры в Брюсселе. И мы очень рады вас видеть на этом мероприятии, которое мы подготовили ко Дню российской науки. Этот год объявлен Годом науки и технологий. И в нашей программе много мероприятий, которые посвящены этой теме. Но февраль – месяц особенный. В феврале, как вы знаете, в нашей стране учрежден профессиональный праздник День науки. И именно к этому дню мы подготовили большую программу, которая связана с именем одного из самых выдающихся ученых нашей страны в 20 веке, чье наследие осталось, конечно же, и в 21 веке, и наверняка останется и в 22-м, и в последующих, потому что Алеф Ландау принадлежит к той категории ученых, к тем исследователям, которые своими действительно пионерскими, действительно визионерскими проектами заглядывают на несколько веков вперед. И эта фигура, этот деятель российской науки имеет действительно глобальное значение. Ну, а кроме того, что он был совершенно необыкновенным и замечательным человеком, и я говорю это не только потому, что я знакома и с его трудами, и с его жизнью, но и потому, а почему знакома с его жизнью? Потому что действительно в моей жизни Алеф Ландау тоже имел некоторое значение, потому что его лечила моя мама. Моя мама, врач по профессии, работала с разными замечательными учеными Советского Союза, в том числе с академиком Сахаровым, с академиком Келдышем, с Курчатовым и с Алефом Ландау. И вы знаете, что отношения между врачом и пациентом иногда устанавливаются очень доверительные и очень человеческие. Почему многие врачи, в том числе Михаил Булгаков, стали писателями. Так вот, мое детство прошло под знаком рассказов мамы о Льве Ландау. Она очень часто, и они почти подружились, она очень много с ним общалась, и о формуле счастья, о которой мы будем сегодня говорить, я впервые услышала в детстве от своей мамы, которая была очень впечатлена этой теорией и считала, что она действительно единственная правильная формула счастья, независимо от времени, места, в котором живет человек. Поэтому я хочу поприветствовать сегодня всех, кто пришел поиграть в нашу интеллектуальную игру, познакомиться с замечательной выставкой, которую приготовили а мои коллеги Татьяна Леонидовна Федорова, которая здесь присутствует, и Лукьяна Суворова к сегодняшнему дню, поприветствовать коллег из Московского педагогического государственного университета, нашего давнего партнера, которого мы очень ценим и с которым мы проводим разные проекты, в том числе по методике русского языка. Я очень рада, что теперь мы познакомились с физической гостиной МПГУ. Оставляю вас на попечение Лукьяны, Дарьи, Ксении и желаю очень интересного вечера, острой игры и, конечно, знаний и знакомства с замечательным человеком, с великим ученым Львом Ландау, которого мы сегодня чествуем в честь Дня российской науки. Спасибо.
Thank you very much, Madam Vera Bunina. And I would like also to underline that today we celebrate the UN Day of Women and Girls in Science. That is actually also very important because today we have the representative of this launch, that is Ksenia Teplikova, the leader of this project. And we have Daria Layola that will join us at 7 when we start directly the intellectual game. That is also woman in science, girl in science, developing these projects. That is very nice. So I'm very happy to give the floor to Ksenia. Just to introduce your team, we have young scientists. That is really great and great honor for us to have you here tonight. But before this, I would like to remind all our participants that we have streaming on Facebook and on our website, ruscenter.be. And so after, you can always watch this video and share it with your colleagues, with your friends. So Ksenia, good evening. Very happy to see you. Please just tell a couple of words about your project and young scientists that we have here.
Да, добрый вечер. Мы рады приветствовать вас из стен Педагогического государственного университета. Он находится в столице России, в Москве. Сейчас вокруг меня молодая команда юных ученых. Это студенты и при этом сотрудники научных лабораторий. В педагогическом вузе не только занимается подготовкой будущих учителей, но и параллельно с этим развивает науку, проводит исследования научные. Это важно, чтобы были новые популяризаторы науки. Важно, чтобы учителя были готовы рассказывать детям реально о науке, быть интересными современной молодежи, вести просветительскую деятельность. И мы подготовили для вас такие видеовизитки, которые предлагаем вам посмотреть, чтобы провести такую мини-экскурсию в нашу лабораторию, показать, чем занимаются ученые, чем занимаются популяризаторы науки, а после этого с радостью ответим на вопросы. Наша команда в данный момент представлена сотрудниками Центра социальных инициатив МПГУ и просветительского проекта «Физическая гостиная». Приятного просмотра.
Thank you so much, Ksenia. And guys, just maybe you can tell us your names and it also introduce a bit.
Меня, как было сказано, зовут Ксения Теплякова. Я являюсь руководителем Центра социальных инициатив и руководителем проекта «Физическая гостиная». В этом вузе уже 16 лет работаю и, наверное, около 20 лет нахожусь сначала в роли студентки, а теперь сотрудника. Рядом со мной коллега Алексей Кузин. Он аспирант и научный сотрудник. Во главе стола У нас сидит Сергей Светодух, является сотрудником лаборатории квантовых детекторов, то есть научный сотрудник и активный участник просветительского проекта. Ну, дальше Мария Дмитриевна Солдатенкова, Александра Даниловна Трезнова, Илья Олегович. Это все научные сотрудники и студенты нашего уникального направления. В нашем вузе есть такое направление, это бакалавриат по физике, фундаментальная физика. Это единственное направление в России такое по фундаментальной физике, где все обучение идет на английском языке. И студенты уже, начиная со второго курса, занимаются наукой, имеют богатый опыт научной деятельности, исследовательской. И в основном к третьему курсу многие уже устроены, трудоустроены. Вот сейчас наши выпускники четвертого курса, уже там большая из них часть устроена в научных лабораториях, и московские школы надеются, что и к ним придут тоже выпускники, потому что ребята с очень хорошим уровнем знаний. И мы постоянно своей командой занимаемся просветительской деятельностью, то есть мы работаем со школьниками, которые приезжают к нам, мы проводим большие фестивали науки, как очные, так и онлайн, собирая тысячи людей вместе. То есть один из фестивалей, который мы успели провести до карантина, собрал 2500 человек в один день. Когда-то это было возможно, теперь мы только об этом мечтаем. И мы проводим такие масштабные действия. А сейчас, во время карантина, наша деятельность в основном ушла в волонтерскую. Это такая госпитальная педагогика. То есть мы занимаемся с детками, кто сейчас проходит лечение в больницах, кто находится в детском хосписе, потому что каждый ребенок в стране, в мире имеет право на получать образование, получать дополнительное образование. Вот, и мы приезжаем к ребятам, кто проходит длительное лечение, например, и проводим для них эксперименты, занятия, где они могут сами что-то сделать своими руками, посмотреть на какие-то интересные наши эксперименты, послушать о современной физике, задать вопросы. Это им помогает проводить время в больнице, не только думая о своих медицинских проблемах, но и понимая, что они могут вернуться в школьную программу после того, как пройдут лечение, что это интересный такой досуг, который часто помогает врачам. То есть врачи часто обращаются с просьбой заниматься с детьми и отвлекать их от медицинских всяких процедур. Вот, поэтому наша команда постоянно и регулярно работает с детьми в разных учреждениях. Вот, и это стал наш уже такой образ жизни. Мы привлекаем и также биологов, химиков, математиков, будущих учителей, дошкольников, дефектологов. То есть нас действительно много, просто сейчас представляем только компанию физиков.
Вот. Здорово. А пока мы не погрузились в открытие Ландау, как возникла идея создания физической гостиной?
В 11 классе я пришла на факультет. Раньше же не было ЕГЭ в России, надо было сдавать экзамены. И каждый институт проводил какие-то курсы, которые помогали подготовиться, сдать экзамены. Я пришла на факультет, попала на лекторий. Это было первое знакомство с нашей кафедрой, с нашим факультетом. Все интересно, доброжелательно. Несколько лет обучения, и человек в таких условиях начинает хотеть тоже заниматься такой просветительской деятельностью, тоже привлекать следующих школьников, следующих будущих студентов. Мы начали показывать эксперименты с коллегой, учиться показывать демонстрации. Потом мы подросли, появились первые курсы студентов, у кого были кураторами. Вот. И студенты тоже включились в такую деятельность. Мы перед большими лекциями показывали буквально там несколько экспериментов, потому что ребенок, когда приходит на лекцию, ему всегда хочется что-то потрогать руками и сделать самому. Ему всегда интереснее что-то, в чем можно разобраться самому, а не просто посмотреть где-то далеко на кафедре сложное. Потом наши встречи стали все больше и больше, поэтому название «физическая гостиная». То есть мы так встречали гостей. А потом наши встречи уже стали часовыми, двухчасовыми, независимо от лекции. Стали обращаться к нам школы с просьбой приехать к ним или чтобы школьники приехали к нам. Потом появились первые фестивали большие. Вот. А когда нас первый раз пригласили на фестиваль науки в детском хосписе, мы поняли, что, наверное, да, это наше новое направление. И с тех пор активно развиваемся вот в направлении такого волонтерства. Как-то так. Лукьяна? Нас слышно? Ну, пока, наверное, идет подключение у Лукьяны, ощущение, что ее нету. Вот, можно рассказать просто о первых фестивалях. То есть фестивали науки раньше были не приняты, и там, ну, лет 10 назад, наверное, это была большая редкость. То есть сейчас мы уже привыкли к таким фестивальным программам. И нас пригласили поучаствовать в одном из первых фестивалей, где мы занимали всего несколько стендов. Нам было интересно, как придут дети, как это вообще все устроено. Прошло, наверное, полгода, мы захотели уже стать организаторами следующего фестиваля, и через год мы стали одним из самых больших фестивалей в Москве, за исключением «Наука 0+», который организовывает МГУ, куда собираются просветители, причем как классические, просто такие строгие лекторы, так и люди, которые занимаются творческими мастер-классами, проводят какую-то социальную работу, помогают разным детям развиваться во всех направлениях. То есть фестиваль науки интересный тем, что может прийти вся семья, и всей семье будет интересно, будет чем заняться, потому что разные направления. Спасибо.
Ну, у нас небольшие технические неполадки, поэтому я могу задать вам вопрос сейчас. Пока сейчас Лукьяна переподключается, у нее что-то случилось с компьютером. Я бы хотела попросить вас рассказать о теории счастья Ландау. Все-таки в чем это заключается? Откройте секрет.
Да, тогда передам слово коллеге.
Да, здравствуйте.
С счастливым лицом.
Раз вопрос был на русском задан, то, я думаю, правильнее на русском ответить. Соответственно, теория счастья, она просто великолепно была придумана, и всего 3 ключевых компонента в нее входят. Первое, как считал Ландау, это работа, и он считал это просто бесспорным аргументом, почему это должна быть работа. То есть даже никто с ним не спорил, почему он именно это поставил на первое место. Вторым интересным компонентом этого всего это была любовь. Соответственно, третий компонент – это общение с людьми. То есть Ландау видел в этих 3 компонентах абсолютную ценность вообще бытия, и он именно так себе представлял счастье для каждого из людей. Ну и, соответственно, он достаточно многого достиг в этих 3 аспектах и считал себя вполне счастливым человеком. Спасибо за очень интересный вопрос.
Я хотела бы озвучить еще один вопрос. В какой сфере используют научные труды Ландау? Вот в настоящее время.
Еще раз добрый вечер. Спасибо большое за ваш вопрос. Присоединюсь к своему коллеге и также отвечу на русском языке. Вот. На самом деле Лев Давидович Ландау получил Нобелевскую премию за теорию сверхтекучести. И сверхтекучесть – это способность субстанции проникать в очень узкие щели, капилляры при особенных условиях, при температурах, которые близки к нулю. Ну и многие могут задать вопрос, ну а как же нам в современном мире вот так вот взять, открыть книжку, обратиться к теории Ландау и сказать, вот она где применима, нам это здесь поможет. Но на самом деле для этого достаточно просто немножко взглянуть на небо, вдаль звездам, и теория сверхтекучести очень полезна для понимания физики звезд, например. Александра, вы согласны со мной?
Согласна. Еще могу добавить, что кроме звезд, кроме астрономии, изучения звезд, теория сверхтекучести, она сделала достаточно большой вклад в развитие изучения сверхпроводимости. Сверхпроводимость – это такое явление, это свойство материалов иметь нулевое сопротивление электрическое при низких температурах. И сверхпроводимость можно рассматривать также как явление сверхтекучести, если мы говорим о электронах. То есть оно применимо для электронов. И интересным фактом является то, что сверхпроводимость, она находит огромное количество различных практических применений в современном мире. Например, левитирующие поезда, о которых, наверное, многие слышали. Очень мощные магниты делаются из сверхпроводниковых материалов, которые, допустим, используют в ускорителях частиц. Также для создания квантового компьютера тоже используются сверхпроводники. И еще не менее важным фактом является то, что вот мы являемся представителями лаборатории, которая как раз-таки занимается исследованием сверхпроводимости. Спасибо, все. Я думаю, что мы достаточно емко ответили на этот вопрос.
Но все-таки это не совсем понятно в плане звезд, то есть как именно теория сверхтекучести, она связана с физикой звезд. То есть там имеется в виду то, что там настолько низкие температуры, благодаря которым сверхтекучесть она проявляется, или потому что насколько... То есть вопрос жидкости как бы в космосе и на звездах, это тоже, скажем так, на эту тему можно целые книги написать. То есть поэтому мне как не совсем понятно, как именно сверхтекучесть связана со звездами.
Извините, пожалуйста, вы не могли бы повторить начало вопроса? У нас не было звука.
Окей. То есть не совсем понятно, как сверхтекучесть связана с физикой звезд. Ну, можно, конечно, предположить то, что благодаря очень низким температурам, которые свойственны, скажем так, подобным объектам, но опять же текучесть чего именно, то есть, насколько я понимаю, в плане жидкостей там тоже не совсем эвидентно. Ну, по крайней мере, на поверхности звезд. То есть, или имеется в виду то, что это расплавленные... То есть, какие именно жидкости? То есть, о каких именно жидкостях идет речь? Потому что, как бы, если они расплавлены, то температуры, наоборот, высокие, а не в районе абсолютного нуля.
Да, вопрос на самом деле достаточно сложный, и как, я не являюсь экспертом, допустим, в изучении там звезд, в астрономии, но попытаюсь как-то вот так, как я понимаю, ответить на этот вопрос. И дело в том, что тут как бы связь не такая прямая. Если говорить о Ландау, то он занимался изучением сверхтекучести жидкого гелия. Тут действительно мы говорим о достаточно низких температурах, это там минус 270 градусов по Цельсию получается, но здесь связь такая не совсем очевидная. И, как я уже сказала, допустим, если мы говорим о сверхпроводимости, сверхпроводимость, она очень похожа по своим свойствам на сверхтекучесть, хотя здесь как бы текут электроны, получается, а не сама станция. Вот. А если и в сверхпроводимости есть такая интересная вещь, текут электроны, и электроны у нас как бы объединяются в пары. То есть это такой квантовый эффект. И в звездах там есть, в общем, в звездах присутствуют нейтроны, которые похожим образом тоже объединяются в пары и как бы...
это нейтронные звезды, об этом идет речь.
О нейтронных звездах, да, как раз.
Окей, да.
Спасибо большое, дорогие друзья. Да, давайте теперь начнем просмотр, собственно говоря, непосредственно видео, которое подготовили ребята. Так, Ксения, мы демонстрируем экран или вы? Как удобнее?
Если можно, то вы.
Ага, хорошо. Так.
Hello, my name is Yilmanova Anna. I'm a member of Quantum Detectors Laboratory here. And today I want to tell you about Alef Landau, who is a famous scientist, a theoretical physicist, also a founder of his own scientific school, and Nobel winner of 1962 in physics. So Alef Landau was born on 22nd of January in 1908 in the family of chief engineer and his wife a doctor, who were called David Landau and Любовь Горкови. So I want to introduce Alef Landau as a really extraordinary child who was able to read, write, and even count at the age of 4. And as far as he grew up, his talents became even more highlighted. So I can tell that when he was 12, he could already differentiate and he could integrate at the age of 13. So on the other hand, in gymnasium, he felt very bored. All the lessons were too easy for him, and especially he didn't like literature classes because he just couldn't understand why should he spend his time on it when he has math and physics to learn. But, by the way, when he grew older, he started to understand literature. He even became a real fan of poetry. He also liked to work with his memory. Sometimes he even memorized full articles of different newspapers, but soon he understood that this is not a good idea and started to memorize different poems. All the people who knew Landau can tell that he was not only a great scientist, but also he always told different poems with a great expression and without any difficulties. So gymnasium just went over, and Landau was 13, and the Baku University decided that they wouldn't allow him to apply because he was too young. So he has to stay with his sister and his cousin in another gymnasium, economic one. And there he started his way as a teacher. So he trained his sister and cousin with math, especially algebra and geometry, and he understood that this is maybe one thing that will be important for him in his life. And after a year, being almost 14 years old, he finally got into Baku University. There he applied onto 2 different faculties, the physics and math one and the chemistry one. And I can say that actually, after a few months, he decided that chemistry wasn't interesting enough for him, and he decided to work only in physics and math. At first, his groupmates didn't really like to study with him because they thought he was too young. But when they got to know him better, they understood that he is actually an interesting person, and also they liked how he always helped them with their works. He was the best student of math in the group, even though he was the youngest. And he always helped others. He allowed other students to look at his works, and also he could even do another person's test. So Baku University was good for Landau, but at the same time, his sister Sonia started to study in Leningrad University. On the one hand, she liked this, and especially the city and the people there. So once she came up to the family and told that maybe Lev also should come with her to Leningrad. And the family council, consisting of parents, sister, and Lev, decided that yes, it's a good idea. He should go to Leningrad State University, which is now St. Petersburg University. And yeah, so in the end, she really came there and entered the physics faculty. There, he actually got his best friends for his whole life. So one of them was Dima Ivanenko, who later told that gave Landau his famous nickname Dao, which was also known even better than his own name. And also, when he went up to the graduate school, he was only 19. And he went there with other famous people like Fock and Bernstein. And I can say that another interesting thing is when Landau was only 19, he started to work with different interesting materials, and because he was a very successful scientist for his age, he got an opportunity to come to Europe to study from different other scientists. Being a young Soviet student, he came to such people as Einstein, Rutherford, and also Max Born and Pauli, and had different conversations with them. One of his famous conversations was held with Albert Einstein when he tried to force the famous physicist to understand that quantum mechanics isn't a temporary thing, that it is forever, it will stay in the science. Actually, and sadly, he couldn't force Albert Einstein to understand this. And another interesting event that occurred during this trip to Europe with Alef Landau was his meeting in Rutherford laboratory with Piotr Kapitsa. So Piotr Kapitsa is another famous Soviet scientist who later moved into Kharkov, and there he opened his own Institute of Physical Problems. And after Landau came back from his Europe trip, he continued to work on his projects. For example, he found some small mistake in Pauli's article and introduced his own work, which was later called Diamagnetic of Metals, and also known now as Landau's diamagnetism. And also he worked about a lot on the concept of density matrices and their applications in quantum mechanics, quantum statistics. He introduced this concept apart from other researchers that worked in this field, for example, Newman, and also all of these made him even more and more popular in Leningrad University, but he started to come in conflict with Yoffe, who was a leader of the university, and after this conflict they decided not to work anymore with each other, and so Landau had to move somewhere else. He was suggested a place in the laboratory, that Institute of Physical Problems, opened by Kapitsa. So he moved to Kharkov and started to work there, and this was even a more successful period of his time. One of the interesting examples is that there he not only worked but also started to tell lectures and became a teacher himself in a real sense. The first students appeared at this time, and I can say that interesting thing is not only that he got just students from the lecturers, but he actually founded his own scientific school. So the people who wanted to become his students and co-workers had to pass some set of exams called the theoretical Landau minimum. So they had to pass about 9 exams on physics and math, and only if they passed they could become his students. So only 26 people became pupils of Landau during all the time of his school existence. At the same Kharkov period, he also started to know his pupil and a co-worker, Lifshitz, who is very well known to us also as a co-author of their famous theoretical physics course in 10 books. But sadly, the last books of this series were finished not by Landau and Lifshitz himself, but Landau's pupils mostly. Also, at this Kharkov period, there was one shaded moment when Landau was accused in anti-Soviet agitation, and he went to prison for a year. But he soon was let out and continued working. But later he said that if he would stay 2 months more in the prison, he wouldn't be alive or a scientist. After releasing, he became he continued working. So he also in the Kharkov Institute he paid a lot of attention to different seminars that were held there. On the seminars, the students not only told what they were themselves working at, but also about different scientific news from articles from papers. And it was told by some of his pupils that there was only 5 minutes needed for Landau to understand whether he is interested in this topic or not, whether it is some real article or it's not enough good, and he can create a real discussion on it. Also, during his Kharkov period, Landau met his wife, who was a real beauty, even though he before mentioned sometimes that all the beautiful girls and good girls are already married, as all the interesting problems are already solved. During the war, the institute had to move from Kharkov to Kazan due to the fact that it was a really war, so they couldn't work there anymore. But during working in Kazan, Landau also continued his researches, and actually he and his pupils started to work on atomic project and also on different explosives. So to say, actually Landau was a really interesting person, and he had performed a lot of different things in his life. But what he got his Nobel Prize for was his works in superconductivity and superfluidity, both performed with the liquid helium. And this prize he got in 1962, but the reasons which led him to this prize weren't really happy ones, because mostly this happened after he got a strong car crash, and his friends and students wanted to help him to get some money for his cure, and they even created some kind of company that tried to cure him and to help him. Also, his students created like 10 tablets with the main concepts of Landau written on them, which were like the main 10 formulas with descriptions, determinations, and they were important for him. So, but after the crash, Landau didn't really work, even after he got better. He started to fade out, and after a few years, he finally died. So he's buried on Novodevichy Cemetery, and I think that you can even have a look at his grave.
Yes, so thank you very much for such a great presentation. It's really very interesting. And I also would like to underline that we mentioned that there is an interesting exposition on our website about Landau. And I would like just to make also a small presentation. So to have a look how it looks like on our website. Sorry, it's a bit slow, maybe. Yes, here it is. Actually, there are many interesting facts about his life, about his childhood, about his development, and of course, here you will also be able to find his famous theory of happiness, and it actually is very good to use. So you're very welcome at our website. I will just post one more time the link. And before we start to speak about some sparkling experiments that were also prepared by our young scientists, I would like to give the floor to Ksenia.
Спасибо. Я просто хотела немножко уточнить о том, как возможно, чтобы такая команда физиков собиралась вместе, чтобы развивалась так наука, и почему столько людей горят энтузиазмом заниматься просветительской деятельностью. На нашей кафедре очень сильная научная школа, и руководитель нашей кафедры известный в мире ученый Григорий Наумович Гольцман, который несколько лет назад получил премию за значительный вклад, международную премию за значительный вклад в развитие прикладной сверхпроводимости. И та атмосфера научная, академическая, та атмосфера человеческая, которая складывается на кафедре, она позволяет развиваться личностям, гражданам, которые хотят трудиться на благо лаборатории, на благо науки, на благо страны. И кажется, что это очень важно, что независимо от того, это педагогический или научный вуз, независимо от того, где мы находимся, что мы развиваем и делаем одно общее дело. Поэтому при просмотре вы сейчас увидите несколько лабораторий и современных, и демонстрационный кабинет. Это съемки из такого старинного кабинета, где шкафы 1890 года, где приборы как и современные, так и там, 19 века из разных стран привезенные. У нас сохранились каталоги, которые мы показываем гостям. Может быть, как-нибудь проведем вам такую видеоэкскурсию онлайн, расскажем, потому что интересно смотреть, какое было отношение в стране к образованию. То есть это бывшие московские высшие женские курсы. И вот такое было отношение к образованию, к приборам. То есть покупала все очень элитное, очень красивое, эстетически красивое. И удобно для объяснения, потому что все наглядно, нет никаких черных коробочек, просто кнопочек, а все доступно, понятно, красиво и интересно. Спасибо, приятного просмотра.
Just one comment. I think also your love towards physics came after our school, where we had chance to study together with a beautiful laboratorium and possibility to make different experiments. Yeah. So and now we start.
Да, и когда я зашла в здание факультета, которому тоже на данный момент 100 с лишним лет, а когда мы заканчивали школу с Лукьяной, школе было уже 102 года, то я посчитала, что вот эта архитектура красивая, вот эта уникальная плитка московская, то это норма, так и должно быть во всех вузах, во всех учебных заведениях, никак иначе быть не может, и приборы должны быть деревянные, красивые, и отношение к истории должно быть такое, как нас воспитали в 59-й школе, где Гаудама знал каждый, начиная с 5 класса. Да, спасибо.
Да, это вдохновляет. Спасибо, Ксения. Итак, смотрим видео.
Today, our young scientists and young popularizers of physics will show you a few experiments on physics, and one of the experiments I'd like to show you right now. Let's look to this U-shaped vessel. There is just water inside it, and there is special electrodes. Let's supply DC current into this vessel. We can see bubbles inside it, and these bubbles goes to the up part of this vessel. And we can take these new volumes of some gases and mix it into this tube. Let me show you. And now I'm taking my lighter, and let's see what will be happen.
Today I want to tell you a short story about science, modern science, and a little bit about our laboratory. And science is a type of human activities which collect and organize our knowledge about the universe. And of course, such type of activity looks very exciting for people and has a great influence on individuals and entire societies both. and about some particular things which science can give us. For example, works of such great scientists like Maxwell and Hertz in the field of electromagnetic radiation gave us such new technologies as radio, Wi-Fi, near-field communication, and mobile network. And all these technologies significantly increased our communication. Of course, individuals also very curious to something about our world, and I feel very inspired when I can find something new and something interesting. And about me, I'm mostly interested in modern optics and more specifically in integrated photonics. This field of science studies some small devices with elements which has dimensions comparable to the wavelengths of radiation. And of course, production of such device requires complicated and rare equipment, and sometimes it's very hard to find a place where you can do such work. And I'm a lucky one because our laboratory provided me with such equipment, and now I can successfully carry out my scientific activity. And about laboratory is not only about equipment. The main part in laboratory is the people, and especially the head of laboratory, because the head of laboratory carries responsibility for future achievements and possibilities to work for all these people. And the head of our laboratory is a famous scientist, Grigory Goldsman. And Grigory Goldsman had an annual I3 award from Institute of Electrical Electronic Engineers for his continuous contributing to study and development of applied superconductivity. And also under his supervision, many worthy doctors and postdocs in physics have graduated and became able to study our world. And I think it would be great if everyone had a chance to do what one wants and achieve some inspiring results in this field.
And today I want to tell you not only about the experimental scientists, but also about those who popularize the science.
Hello, my name is Sergey.
And I'm Alexandra. And let's start our conversation with a short question. How does natural science knowledge affect our life?
In our life, we have motion of different bodies. So, for example, we have the trees, which are the leaves which are falling from the trees, or the trains which go in the subway. The study of this motion is called mechanics. So, we will show you two basic experiments. First experiment consists of the cylinder and inclining plane.
And everybody knows, even each child can answer you that every object in our planet should go down the mountain like a skier slides down easily the mountain from the top.
Okay, let's start from the experiment. We have a cylinder, which is a basic cylinder. We will place it on the plane and see what happens. So we place it and see that the cylinder goes upstairs. So we need to know why it goes. It's here. So, Sasha.
It's very interesting, and I have no idea why this is happening. Maybe it's just a magic.
Well, magic is a simple answer, but no.
Okay, now we need to check how the slide works. For this reason, we turn it around.
So let's see. We place it. We can see that it goes downstairs or upstairs. So
okay, in such case, it means that it does not, our experiment does not depend on the slide position, but I see that cylinder can move as upstairs, it can move downstairs and stand at the point. It means that there is something with our cylinder. And now I feel that one side of the cylinder is much heavier than another. It means that we deal with dislocated center of mass. Okay, let's check.
Indeed, we can check this. We can open this cylinder. And we can clearly see that there are some massive objects. So if we will place it on the inclining plane, like this, and release it, we can see that this massive object always goes downstairs, so like this, or like this, or like this.
Okay, now we can see that the center of mass of the body always want to be in the lowest position. And in both cases, when the body goes up and goes down, the center of mass is in the lowest possible position.
So let's switch to the second experiment. It consists of the inclining plane, a cylinder, and the beacon. So let's start with the cylinder and place it on this inclining plane.
It goes down.
Now let's place a beacon.
And beacon goes up.
Do you know why?
No, but we want to try to solve this riddle. So, in the previous experiment, we understand that the deal with the center of mass. Center of mass always want to be in the lowest position. So here I feel that the cylinder is uniform. Each part of the cone have the same weight, so it means that the center of mass coincides with the geometrical center, and it's placed on the axis which connects these two spheres. So let's take a look again, and we can notice that actually the center of mass of this beacon goes down, and we can check it in this way. So we need a ruler and measure the distance. It's about 15.5 centimeters height. And at final position, the height is smaller. It's about 14.5. So it means that center of mass takes the lowest position at the final point.
Hello, my name is Alexei, and I love listening to music, and I start playing the guitar. And of course, I love physics. And like any beginning musician, I have a dream to create my own band with original sound. But for this, we can understand what is the sound. To understand this, let's look at my guitar. I can extract different sounds just playing the strings. Let's look at only one string and think about how sound is produced. It's a very interesting question because sound is a vibration, and to create it, I just hit the string, and I wonder what the regularity is in arrangement of the strings, and can different geometrical objects make musical sounds. And Nastya playing the xylophone will help us deal with it.
Hello, it is simple. Our xylophone consists of wooden bars of different lengths. Let us compare how do different bars sound. Which sounds lower, which sounds higher. So, which one sounds higher?
Yeah, I think shortest.
Yes, that's right. And this is because each bar vibrates with its own frequency. And the same thing happens with the guitar string.
Oh, I wonder, will sound change if we take only wooden bars of different lengths and throw them? It's amazing. We have the sound like as Nasta's xylophone. It's turned out that the geometric objects of different shapes and of different materials can emit different sounds of different tones. But the musical sound is obtained for object with a very simple form. For example, wooden bar or a string.
I also play a flute, but I wonder, what is vibrating in this case? To answer this question, let us consider the following experiment. We have organ pipes of different lengths, and we will blow air through them, causing the vibrations of the air column in the pipes. Yes, and let's... Depending on the size of the pipe, the sound will have different pitch. And the air column in the pipe plays the same role as a guitar string or a wooden bar of xylophone. The longer pipe produced the lower sound. And the smaller pipe produced a higher sound. We can see that depending on the length of the pipe or the air column in the pipe, the sound will have different pitch. Now we can easily understand how my flute works. The air column in the flute changes depending on the position of my fingers. So, and the three main points are vibrating body is the source of sound, the elastic media is a transmitter, and our eardrum is a receiver. And now try to answer the question yourself. Will you hear an explosion in space?
And now, having figured out how sound arises, we want to demonstrate you the performance of our musical group.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We already talked about science, and let's talk about scientific equipment and the science which describes this equipment.
Okay, Ilya, but I thought that we will talk about optical fiber, but it does not look like optical fiber.
Yes, we will talk about waveguides, but actually it's the same. It just consists of the array of the optical fibers, and let me explain you how it works.
Okay.
Let's see, we have a laser source, and let's shine a light through this core, and we can see the light on the other side, I hope. And I demonstrate it to you.
Yes, I see it, yes.
That's good. Then let me explain you the physics of this event. We have these thin fibers, and we have outer core. Also we have inner core, and light propagates only inside the inner core. It's always reflected back inside the inner core, and never goes to the outer core. And therefore we have the event of total internal reflection. And we have no absorption at all, and that's all. I think that's the idea of this.
Yeah, it was really very interesting. But what about? Let's consider, for example, several natural phenomena from the scientific point of view. What do you think about it?
Yes, it's a good idea. Let's talk about why we can actually see everything. Why we, for example, can see the moon in the sky.
Yes, I'm also interested in it. And for example, why does it shine, but we can't see the light which goes to the moon surface, for example. But I can show you a very simple experiment. We have a laser and I can turn it on, but you can see the light here. Do you agree with me? Yes. But now I can use my hand like an obstacle for it, and now you see that we have some spot of light here.
Yes, but we can see only the end of the beam, but we cannot, maybe turn it again, but we cannot see it, the whole beam. It's not interesting. Maybe we can do something.
Let's try to think about it together. We have some kind of special device. It is a humidifier. And for example, I can use it. And now we see the beam of light. It's beautiful, I think. And why do we see actually, and how can we see it? Now the light reflects from the droplets of water, and you can see the beam of light immediately. And the moon in the night sky can't shine itself. And now we analyzed our experiment, and we have already understood that the rays reflects, and we can see the moon on the night sky.
Okay, that's fine, but we'll only talk about the straight lines propagation of the light, but we know that light can propagate by the curves.
Yes, I agree with you. It is an interesting question, but maybe we want to show the next experiment.
Okay, let's make our experiment, and we have just a vessel with water, and let's shine a laser through it. And you can see that it's not simple water, because light is a little bit curved, as you can see here. And let me explain you why it happens. Actually, here we have a solution of the sugar and water, and here we have just water. And therefore, we have different refractive indexes here and here. And we have a reflection of the light during the propagation of this light.
Now I understand it, but what about mirage, Ilya? How does it work?
I think it's a good question, because it works almost the same, but now we need to consider that it's not a water, but it's an air, because we see mirages through the air. And let's assume that this part is hot air, upper part, and lower part is cold air. It may be opposite, but it doesn't matter anyway. And let's see what will happen. But now let's assume that our laser is now our object, and we are located somewhere here. We are kind of observer, and we see this laser. And interesting situation, because our brain doesn't know that light goes by the curve. It thinks that the light always propagates by the straight lines. And therefore, it will think that object located somewhere here, a little bit upper, to the tangent line of this point, of this trajectory. And we think that the laser located somewhere here. And therefore, we are able to see the mirages. And in reality, for example, let's do it again. Here will be the sky, for example. It will be ground, kind of, we put everything upside down. And then we will think that our sky is become a little bit lower. And therefore, we see the sky on the ground. It is strange. You see something blue, the sky on the ground, and you may assume that, wow, maybe it's water, something blue on the ground. But no, it's just a mirage. It's just a part of the sky which is reflected.
Ilya, thank you very much. The world around us is really amazing.
Мы убедили вас, что наука вдохновляет и зажигает. Чем занимаются ученые? Ученые занимаются исследованиями, ученые проводят просветительскую работу, популяризируют науку. Зачем нужно заниматься просветительской работой? Затем, чтобы рождались новые ученые, затем, чтобы большему количеству людей на планете становилось интересно устройство мира, было доступнее образование. Меня зовут Ксения Теплякова, я являюсь директором Центра социальных инициатив МПГУ и руководителем проекта «Физическая гостиная». Мы уже много лет занимаемся просветительской деятельностью, наши проекты
получили одобрение Министерства науки и образования Российской Федерации, Департамента образования и науки, Российской академии наук, благотворительных фондов. Мы проводим как масштабнейшие фестивали науки на 1000 человек в ВУЗе, в парках, выездные какие-то мероприятия, так и занимаемся волонтерством просвещения. Что такое волонтерство просвещения? Это когда люди работают с теми, например, детками или взрослыми людьми, подростками, у которых нет возможности сейчас посещать дополнительное образование, получать обычное образование. Это дети могут проходить длительное лечение в больницах, находиться в детском хосписе. Им всем интересно, как устроен этот мир, им всем хочется разобраться в каких-то сложных вопросах. Часто нашей задачей является подружить школьников со школьной программой, показать, что формулы и законы, они вообще доступны каждому, и что все, что окружает нас, можно объяснить с помощью науки. Ученые-исследователи, ученые-популяризаторы науки. И, конечно же, ученые-романтики. Ведь, глядя на такую красивую розу, мы не только восхищаемся, мы не только ей любуемся и дарим друг другу, но мы и хотим изучить ее свойства тел при низких температурах. С годом науки вас! И всем желаем новых открытий и интересных событий в жизни.
Wow, that was really super great. Thank you very much for this presentation, for this wonderful video. And I liked a lot the phrase that you said, that how amazing the world is around us. So that's really, really very great. I'm so amazed by everything what I saw. I think it's from one side something that is very simple, but from the scientific side, it's very interesting to research, to study, to understand how everything works. So if anybody has questions, maybe to our young scientists, if not, I would like to thank you again, Ksenia. I think you are really a real inspiration, and the thing that you are doing, promoting science in a very interesting, interactive way for young people, for children, it's real great job, and you need also a prize for you for such project that you are developing. But I guess last year, if I remember correctly, you also got maybe the university got the prize for this project from, am I right? Yeah, we can't.
Да. В том году у нас было очень радостное событие. Министерство науки и высшего образования нашему проекту присудило 3-е место в стране. Эта премия называется «За верность науке». Номинация была «Классная наука», то есть за работу со школьниками, за работу с детьми школьного возраста. То есть наш проект был оценен и стал финалистом. Для нас это была большая честь.
Очень здорово, поздравляем. Спасибо большое за чудесные презентации. Thank you so much for wonderful presentation. Now we know much more about Landau and his scientific research, and also we touched the contemporary physics that is around us, and also the physics that we study in the universities and then implement in our life. And now I would like to move to another interactive part of the evening. We have also an intellectual game quiz today. The first one in this year. We start this year with science, And also we have the quiz about science. And by the way, I would like to also say publicly, Ksenia, your team, if you want to join us for this game, we will be very happy. And now I would like to give the floor to master of the game, our wonderful Daria Layola. So Daria, you're very welcomed. I just would like to mention that we have also other participants. So we have Igor. Yes, you wrote that you are playing
Yeah.
Victor.
Yeah, so yeah, I played indeed, yeah.
Then we have Andrei Rashkov that is playing with Gabriel, if I'm correct.
Yes. Hello. Yes, we are playing together.
No, yes. Then actually we have the team from Paris. Yes. And also we have some other participants like we have Artyom. Yes, we have Ekaterina.
Hello.
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 Are you in a team or you
No,
are?
I'm individual. I'm working with Ksenia in the social center, but today I'm playing alone.
Okay, perfect. So you can join participants from the university, or if you wish, you can join any other team.
I also don't have a team, so I just applied. So, but
who is speaking? Sorry, I don't see.
With me, with Igor.
Igor. So
yeah.
Just because you wrote that you play with Victor, this is why I was.
But Victor is not joining, so he messaged us on Facebook to me and to Daria that he's has some private party tonight. So
okay, very reasonable, yeah. So we have Artyom. Artyom, do you hear us? No, maybe
he has to unmute himself.
Yes. I asked him.
1 second, I'll be right back.
Yeah, actually, if you want, you can play with Artyom. If you know each other. These are just some technical issues to understand with whom we are playing tonight, and I'm happy to give the floor to Daria. Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now? Okay, great. Thank you very much, Luciana. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everybody. So we are honored to pay special tributes to the Science Day, celebrated in Russia every 8th February of each year. So tonight our game is devoted to science, scientists, and inventions. And we have established that we have some players, and I suggest that players who are not in the team play alone. So we will have a lot of teams, individual teams, because in order to compose the teams right now, well, actually it needs some arrangements before, so to establish contact by WhatsApp or Messenger. In order to avoid this preparation part, everybody can play for himself tonight. Luciana, what do you think?
I fully agree, yes. But
okay.
We have one team from university.
All right. So let me just check with you. We have Igor, who is playing for himself. We have Andrei Rashkov, who is playing
with Gabriel.
With Gabriel, okay. We have Artyom, who is playing.
Artyom Roskovsky, do you hear us?
Artyom, are you here?
maybe he will join later. I don't know. He's not answering.
Okay.
He answered in the chat, I guess. I have just seen something. Ah, no, it's Olivier. That was Olivier. Okay, sorry.
It is Ayla Olivier, who is playing with Denise. Okay, great. I know it's Artyom. We will check on him later. And then we also have Ekaterina.
Yeah, and we've decided with the team from the university that we are joining. So we'll be the one team from now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So university team is Ksenia Teplakova's team. Is that right?
Yes.
By the way, it was so great to see your introduction and experiments. Thank you very much for this show. Very interesting. Okay, so university team, I know. Do we have anyone left? Alexei Kuzin just wrote, we are team also. Alexei? Kuzin?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great.
We have 4 members in our team.
All right.
But are you the team of Xenia?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so I unite all the members in your team, and can you please decide who is a leader of your team?
Maybe I'm.
Yes, Alexei is a leader.
Okay, great. Don't be shy. Maybe I am. All right. You are the leader. Why do we need a leader? Because after the discussion, it should be someone who is going to reply, to post an answer on the behalf of the whole team. So Alexei, I note it is you. Has anyone left? Not in the list. I guess I got everybody. So before we start, let me explain shortly the rules. So the game consists of 3 rounds. Each round has 4 questions, so 12 in total. When I announce a question in English, Luciana shares it as well on the screen, written in English and French. Then you have 1 minute to discuss possible answers with the members of your team, with yourself. After the minute ends, the captain of your team writes an answer in a private message to me in Zoom chat. So let's make a quick test.
So, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but so answers should go to you in the private chat, in the text form.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So I ask a question, then you think of a possible answer. You have 1 minute, and then you send me a message in a private message. Otherwise, everybody will see your brilliant answer.
Wait, and okay, I see it works. Yeah.
Okay, I got the message from Andrei Rashkov. Great. I suggest that everybody tries to send me a message. I got already a message from Ayla, Igor. Okay, Ayla, I got it. Well, I hope Artyom Rudkovsky is all right.
Still alive.
And there is one left. Oh no, everything is fine right now. Okay, I got the message from Alexei as well. So without any hesitation, ladies and gentlemen, we may start. I will be the timekeeper as well. Question number 1. Sputnik 5 is the name of the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Russian medical scientists. What, in your opinion, was the scientific specialty of the scientist who was in charge of the team developing Sputnik 1? The best answer is to name correctly the specialty, but I will also accept the name of the scientist. Or at least, please give me the answer what Sputnik 1 is. Thank you very much. You have 1 minute. Excuse me, I have to intervene. Denis Charbonnier, he wrote me that they cannot see the screen properly. Neither do I as well.
Neither can I see it.
So
no, I cannot see the screen. I just see like a field and nothing else.
Yeah, so it's just.
Okay, sorry. I will try again.
There is no translation into Russian.
Thank you. They will not be eager. We are playing in English, and we did it. There is a bilingual version, French and English, but I accept answers in Russian, of course.
I'm sorry. I guess you don't see the screen again.
Yes. So there is just some empty. Yeah, now yes.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I need to.
It was okay just before you
restart it. Sorry.
But it was all right. But then everything disappeared.
Yeah, because he also shows me all the time the message that
something wrong.
Okay, I got already the answers from Igor, from Andrei Rashkov, and looking forward to other answers. Okay. Alexei got it as well. And Ayla and Denis, I will repeat the question. Oh, I will ask it in French. And you have to give me answers quickly. Alors, Sputnik 5 est le nom du vaccin contre COVID-19 développé par les scientifiques médicaux russes. Et quelle était, à votre avis, la spécialisation scientifique qui dirigeait l'équipe qui a développé Sputnik 1? La meilleure réponse est de préciser correctement la spécialisation scientifique, sinon le nom du chercheur sera accepté, ainsi que l'explication ce qui est Sputnik 1. I can see right now the presentation correctly.
Yes.
Okay. And
no, sorry, I think you don't see the question. Am I right?
Not yet.
Still no question.
It is the first slide.
With some beautiful brain on it.
Yeah. Very sorry, there is some technical issue. I don't understand. Every time everything works.
Je ne compris pas.
All right. Well, I got already the answers of all teams, so I can announce the good answer while Luciana is trying to solve the problem with presentation. So you all got the point, because Sputnik 1, of course, it is the first artificial Earth satellite, a Soviet spacecraft launched into orbit on October 4th, 1957. So this Sputnik was shaped as a ball with 4 antennas and spent 92 days in space. During this time, he flew about 60 million kilometers. I would like to seize the opportunity to honor not only Sergei Korolev, he was trained as an aircraft designer and became a lead Soviet rocket engineer and spacecraft engineer later, but also some members of his team. Keldysh, Tikhonovov, Ryazansky, Ivanovsky, Lidarenko, Maximov, Lapa, Gringaus, Shekunov, Bukhtiyarov, and many others. So thank you to them. You all got points. I got the good answers. Thank you very much. We are moving to question number 2. All right. Bernard Shaw, famous in the world for his witty and wise citations, An Irish playwright said once about another very famous man, "I am ready to forgive this man for his first invention, but only a devil in human form could invent this second one." We are not asking you to name inventions, but please name the inventor. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute. One minute has gone. By the way, the clock ticking could have given you some hint. When clock ticks and then it stops suddenly, and then there is something, the consequences of this invention. I'm checking the answers I
Open
got.
gamer. Ah, no, answered wrong.
Alexei Kuzin got it. Igor got it. Andrei Rashkov got it. Ayla, okay. Still no any signal from Artyom. We need to check on him one day. So, well, there is one good answer. I won't tell you his, but I will tell you that Bernard Shaw said, "I am ready to forgive Alfred Nobel for the invention of dynamite." Boom. But only the devil in human form could invent the Nobel Prize, said Bernard Shaw, himself a Nobel laureate in literature. All right, and we are moving to question number 3. Question number 3 about academician Alef Landau. Alef Landau, a Nobel laureate in physics, had his own theory of happiness. There are 3 main components in his happiness formula: work, love, and communication with other people. In addition, the famous Soviet physicist developed another interesting theory based on 4 principles: brightness, transparency, streamlining, and openness. What were these principles about? What were these principles about? Brightness, transparency, streamlining, and openness. You have 1 minute. Okay, time is gone, and I will ask Lukiana to show us the next. Oh, not yet, not yet. I haven't got yet questions, answers from Ayla and Alexei Kuzin. I think I got it. Okay, and I got one from Ayla. Thank you very much. And Luciana, please turn the page, if you may. Women's clothing was the answer. Alef Landau was a well-known connoisseur of female beauty, and brightness, transparency, streamlining, and openness were the principles of the great women's clothing. All right, we are moving to question number 4. Question number 4. Dante sings sonnets to Beatrice. Stevenson sees the prototype of Jekyll and Hyde. La Fontaine composes a fable. Coleridge, a whole poem. And the Russian scientist Dmitry Mendeleev sees his famous periodic system of elements for the first time. You need to see a kind of system in it all and to tell me where all these events take place. You have 1 minute, guys. The minute has not gone yet, but I can stop it because I got all the answers right now from all the teams. And many of you are right. All these events, like the discovery of Mendeleev of his periodic system of elements, occurred in a dream. All right, round 1 is over. We have 2 letters on my chart. And question number 5. The oldest globe was made by Martin Behaim between 1492 and 1493, a long time ago. A very interesting globe where 2 continents were missing. Which ones? I would like to precise that in different countries and even in different continents, there are different continents model or continent system adopted. So when I'm telling that there are 2 continents missing, I'm thinking in terms of 7th and 6th continent model. There are some theories that take a continent system as 4 or 5 continents. In this case, there will be only 1 continent missing. I will let you guess which one. 1 minute. Time is up. And only 1 answer is missing from university team, Alexei Kuzin. I'm waiting for your answer, please. Thank you, Ayla. And University team. Okay. So, in terms of 7th and 6th continents model, there were 2 continents missing, North and South America, discovered by Columbus during the same years and not yet known at the moment of the creation of Beheim's globe. Right now, you see, here is a photo of the main exhibit of the German National Museum in Nuremberg, the oldest surviving globe of the Earth. The globe was made in Nuremberg in the early 1490s under the supervision of German scientist, merchant, and navigator Martin Beheim. He received this order because he spent a long time in Portugal and was well aware of the latest Portuguese geographical discoveries. Although the map does not yet take into account the results of the voyage of Christopher Columbus, and there is no America on it yet. Yet it is accuracy and clarity. Beheim's Earth Apple, in German, Beheim's Erdapfel, is considered a unique achievement of cartographical science of the late Middle Ages. Thank you very much for your answers.
Ah, genre l'Amérique, genre, et ça compte pour les deux? Parce que moi, pour moi, c'était Antarctique et Amérique, genre. Mais pour moi, Amérique, je comptais les deux. Enfin, pour moi, je compte les deux, genre.
I see there is some discussion, post-answer discussion. That's nice. Okay, question number 6. Attention, please. Once a chemical scientist, Nikolai Zelinsky, read that during a gas attack, those soldiers who covered their nose and mouth with an overcoat stayed alive. This led him to think about a possible invention that would absorb poisonous gases with something porous, for example, charcoal. What is his invention? What is his invention? You have 1 minute. Time is up, and I'm waiting for only one answer from Ayla and Denis. Ayla and Denis. Okay. All the answers and only good ones. You all gave the right answers. It is gas mask or coal gas mask. Nikolai Zelinsky, a Russian and Soviet chemical scientist, invented the coal gas mask at the height of the First World War in 1915, and what is considered by many as a very humanitarian invention. It saved a lot of lives, even during wartime. So we are moving to question number 7. Very difficult one. Sigmund Freud was a supporter of the scientific worldview. At the same time, he believed there are 3 main forces in society which form different views of the world than science does. And to some extent, those forces oppose the science. The first of these forces is almost always harmless and beneficial. It, quote, does not want to be anything other than illusion. The second force itself is in many ways analogous to science, works partly using the same methods, but moves away from it, adhering to the illusion that it can give a flawless and coherent picture of the world. As for the third force, it, according to Freud, is a serious enemy of science. Please name these three forces in the correct order. You have 1 minute to come up with three forces that form three visions of the world. Hard one. Okay. Great answers, and I have all answers. So I would like to read aloud some of your answers, which I find fascinating. Ego, superego, subconscious. Preconscious, conscious, unconscious. Amour, vérité, religion. Donc, the love, the truth, and the religion. And ID, ego, superego. Yet not. The right answer, the Freud answer. Art, philosophy, and religion. So Ayla was very close. Art, philosophy, and religion. I would like to repeat. So art is almost always harmless and beneficial. It does not want to be anything other than an illusion. Philosophy itself, in many ways analogous to science, work partly using the same methods, but moves away from it, adhering to the illusion that it can give a flawless and coherent picture of the world. And the religion, according to Freud, is a serious enemy of science. All right, let's move to question number 8. The official name of this invention bears the surname of one famous French doctor who invented it. It proposed this mechanism in France for the justice system. This mechanism had also an informal nickname, Louisette, in the honor of the inventor's teacher, King's doctor, Antoine Louis, who, being as well as the secretary of the Academy of Surgery, recommended King Louis XVI to adopt a mechanism developed by his student. It is not known for sure whether at that moment Louis had any promotions or not, but this invention was not widely adopted. Nevertheless, soon, during the revolution, the invention got the approval of the people's deputies for use. What is the official name of this invention? You have 1 minute, but I already got 2 right answers. I stopped the clock because I got all the answers we needed, and you all right. Guillotine is the right answer. We are moving to question number 9. This sport is one of the most graceful, light, airy, and beautiful. Well, I think we need to change the page and to skip the next one, go to question 9 directly. So this sport is one of the most graceful, light, airy, fast, and beautiful. Today's athletes and Olympic champions of this sport may not have suspected that their main working tool, their sport equipment, was invented over 3,200 years ago. In ancient times, people used animal bones to do what? An answer is acceptable if you name of the sport or this very sport's equipment. You have 1 minute. Time is up, and looking forward to receiving the answer from university team. All other answers I got already. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for answers. And the right answer is skates, ice skating or figure skating. Scientists are certain that already in the 12th century, bone skates were very popular among the people of the northern countries. The British Museum contains skates found in the in the last century in England, which are almost 2,000 years old. In 1967, not far from Odessa, archaeologists found 2 pairs of skates made of bone and belonging to the Cimmerians, a nomadic tribe that used them 3,200 years ago in the Bronze Age. These are the oldest skates ever discovered on Earth. All right, and we are moving to the question number 10. The company BraveSpace offers constructively new furniture. The furniture is sold in separate blocks, which can be combined and composed by the buyer at will. The first word in the name of this furniture coincides with the name of what was called on one of the websites a genius invention of the Soviet electronic industry. Please name this invention. 1 minute, please. Time is up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to your answers. Okay. Okay. And the university team? Your answer, please. Okay. Luciana, you can turn the page if you want. And you will see that the right answer is Tetris, the building blocks of that furniture shaped as Tetris game figures. But of course, they do not disappear when you put them in a solid line, as it does in the game. We are moving to question 11. Some claim that it was brought, by the way, I have a little visual that I have with me. I don't know if you see me on the screen. Well, if you see, I have a little black box that might give you a little hint of what's in it as the answer of the question. So, some claim that it was brought to Europe by Marco Polo. However, there are those who believe that this is an European invention. The invention of this was attributed to Pope Sylvester II, King Louis IX of France, the monk Roger Bacon, and even Dante Alighieri. What is this all about? What is it in a black box? 1 minute, please. Okay, I'm trying to open this black box. Not easy, it's made of Lego. Another great invention. I got all the answers so I can open the box freely. And here you can see the invention. It was about the invention of the compass. Here it is. As radio always as well has many inventors working at the same time on radio. We are moving to the last question. According to the legend, the plague epidemic that swept many cities in England and the rich harvest of apples in a village far away from big cities, from London in particular, had together alone as its consequences one great scientific discovery. Which one? You have 1 minute. Okay, time is up. I have two answers. Андрей Рожков, Игорь Игнатьев, Алексей Кузин. And Ayla et Olivier. Okay. Well, the answer is the law of gravity. Fleeing from the plague, Isaac Newton left for the remote village of Woolsthorpe, where a rich harvest of apples turned out. Newton was working on many experiments with the light, with mirrors, and also there is a big apple tree in his garden. All right, that was the last question. And no precedents. Before, we don't have one leader, but four. The funny thing is that every team has 5 points, and we need to maybe to play additional questions. Luciana, what do you think? You may stop the screen. We need to have a heads up whether
actually, as you wish. We also can have 2 winners.
We have 4 winners actually.
4, wow.
Yes,
we didn't expect.
Indeed. Because the funny thing is that every member or every team had well, good answers and bad answers as well. And by the number of good answers, every team has the same number of good answers. Well, I suggest that we play 1 or 2 more for our ultimate winner. What do you think, guys? Are you in?
Супер игра.
Super игра. All right, question number 13, which will not be projected. Okay, it is said that the uncle of Giacomo Puccini beat 5 years old on the shin for every false note. After that, Puccini had pain in his lower leg from false notes, and he had this pain his whole life. They say that because of that, Puccini always wanted to write a musical work to dedicate it to a certain dog. What dog? Et pour les participants français, je vais le prononcer en français. On dit que l'oncle de Giacomo Puccini a battu un enfant de 5 ans au tibia pour chaque fausse note. Après cela, Puccini a eu mal au bas de la jambe. Pardon, sorry. À cause des fausses notes toute sa vie. Chaque fois qu'il attend une fausse note, il a mal aux jambes. Ils disent qu'à cause de cela, Puccini a toujours voulu écrire une œuvre musicale à dédier à un certain chien. Quel chien? Well, I think at this point we can pronounce it out loud. Okay. Any other versions? Okay. Igor, Andrei, who else? every time he hears a false note, he has pain. What kind of dog this might be?
May we please ask to repeat the question, if it is
Sure.
possible? Thank you.
Of course. Okay, you know Giacomo Puccini, when he was a little boy, every time he took a false note, his uncle beat him. And then his whole life, Giacomo Puccini, every time he hears a false note, he had pain exactly at the same place on his leg where his uncle beat him. So for the joke, Giacomo Puccini said that he would like to write a musical piece for this phenomenon and to devote it to a certain dog. What kind of dog? And I guess we have a winner. The only right answer we got from university team. And of course, it is Pavlov's dog. Giacomo Puccini has developed a conditioned reflex. They say in his regard, he wanted to write Pavlov's dog waltz dedicated to Pavlov's dog. Puccini, well, could have known about Pavlov's experiments because he lived with him at the same time. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a great game. We covered 12 questions and each of you played really well. You were equal just before Giacomo Puccini and Pavlov's dog, where the university team, Alexei Kuzin's team, took the advantage and they won this game. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daria. I think it was a great game, and many congratulations on the winners. So it's really nice. We have a book for you from our library of the Russian Center for Science and Culture in Brussels. Right now, the borders still closed, so we can't deliver it easily to you. So we hope that after pandemic and finish, we will be able to bring you in person this book. And by the way, I would like to tell also to Igor to remind Victor, who also got the prize in summer, that he's
so he is still
in the office of the Russian Center, and so he's welcome.
but I guess he thinks that the office is closed due to the COVID-19 situation.
I even wrote him that actually he can get it. So if
Okay, yeah, okay, I'll tell him. Okay, no problem. I will.
So many congratulations, and thank you so much, Daria, for such an interesting game. I think we really opened this.
But it's difficult to play alone.
Yes.
Against the big team.
Yeah, that's true. But we hope that next time other participants will be able to join. Maybe also Artem Rudkovsky, who is still silent, will be able also to join us. And thank you very much for our French team that also played today. It was great to see you all. And so we opened this year of science and technology, I think, in a very interesting and dynamic way. And hope to see you again soon. You're very welcome at the platform, and hope to welcome you as well in the Russian Center in person. And by the way, today is, again, I would like to underline the day of women and girls in science, United Nations Day. So it's also very interesting that two leaders of Physicist Lounge and intellectual game, the president of the Association Globus, young ladies. So we're very happy to see you.
And we also must congratulate you, Lukiana, on your professional day, which was yesterday, Diplomats Day. So for you and Vera Georgievna and all your colleagues, happy professional day and many success.
Yeah, thank you so much. We try to do our best to promote Russian science and culture in Europe. Yeah, thank you.
Dear colleagues, thank you very much for such interesting game. It was really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you. Have a nice evening. And
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you guys.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Молодцы.
Ага.
Семья, молодцы. Так держать. Приходите в следующий раз.
Обязательно.
Так и сделаем. Спасибо.
И вы приходите, ребята. Обязательно. Сложно было на английском играть? Или вы все fluent in English?
Ну, это было достаточно так вот, спорно. Какие-то вопросы мы думали, как ответить, но в целом нормально. Вот вопрос еще организационный. Нам нужно написать список того, кто участвовал в нашей команде ведь?
Вроде бы Ксения написала.
Да.
Да, мы
Хорошо.
его опубликуем после релиза.
Это было очень интересно. Спасибо большое.
Спасибо вам.
Формат был тоже интересный, интерактивный достаточно.
Вам большое спасибо за видео, эксперименты, потрясающий вклад. Ну все, на связи. Всем
До свидания.
До свидания.
Пока-пока. Спасибо.